Welcome back. As education remains a pivotal factor in any society to overcome socio-economic issues and successfully build a functional, developed nation, arts education is still marginalized in some schools. Creative arts is one subject that can be integrated across all subjects, including enhancing a child's character development. On the 9th and 10th of September, Rustenburg Girls Junior School will host the second annual virtual creative arts conference for all South African teachers. And to tell us more about this, we're now joined via Zoom by the school's principal, Belinda Peterson. Very good morning to you, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure. Let's now start with why arts education is still marginalized in some schools in this country.
Yeah, I think in South Africa generally we know that the literacy levels of many of our children, literacy and numeracy in fact, is quite concerning. And the stats have shown that over the last number of years. And it's really important that we invest in education, not just in the literacy and numeracy, but in all aspects of the curriculum and children's development. So, yeah, I think it's really important to put a spotlight not just on the languages and mathematics and science, but also on the arts. And so it's really important that, yeah, this conference does that.
Now, Belinda, let's talk about why arts education should be vital as part of every child's holistic development as any other subjects in our schools.
I think the research has shown that with the arts actually supplements children's learning in other areas. We know the connection between maths and music. We know the connection between drama and the languages. And so I think the arts it's a perfect vehicle to help make the other subjects in the curriculum come to life and to be infused in the other aspects of curriculum. And really, it's important for children's development, their holistic development, and just really feeding into the arts industry, which I think our country does so well. We have so many phenomenal artists across the board, but it starts from the ground up. It starts from the foundation, which is in our schooling system. It's in education. And so we need to invest in that within the schools to be able to reach the children who would flourish in the arts one day. But even if they don't choose it as a career, I think it's just an important vehicle for children to learn to express themselves, to be able to express their emotions. We know that drama is a wonderful means for children to do that. Dance and different forms of dance as well are fantastic because they give children that outlet and a way to express the emotions that they can't necessarily verbalize. And so the arts does wonders for those types of things. So, yeah, I think just generally for holistic development of our children, we really need to invest in the arts. And that's why I feel the arts are so critical in education.
And why is it so critical to prepare our kids for success, especially in this complex 21st century?
Yeah, I think often, in education, certainly and I'm sure in other industries and spheres of society as well, there's all this talk of 21st century skills like collaboration, creativity, curiosity. There's lots of talk around the fourth industrial revolution. And the arts is pivotal in that. We don't just talk about STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and maths. We actually talk about STEAMAC, which includes arts and culture, agriculture, and coding. And we know that these other aspects to education also enhance children's development and feed into what our society needs as a whole. We can't really exist without the arts. I think the arts is integral to every culture. It's integral to every society, every country, every community. And so we need to invest in the arts.
And what kind of role does art play in overcoming some of the socio-economic issues that we're currently facing today?
Yeah, I think there's often this term of trying to keep children off the streets. And I think that's definitely one aspect of it. It's not the only thing, but it definitely gives children something else to do other than roam the streets and get involved in things that we don't want them to be involved in. That's not good for their development and not good for our country. And so creating spaces where children can engage in learning about drama, learning about how to perform, learning how to play musical instruments, how to play in an orchestra. All of those things are critical in teaching not just creativity, but teaching children how to collaborate, teaching children how to work with others. That feeds into, hopefully one day when they're employed, So all of those things are integral, and teaches our children about diversity as well. It teaches our children about diverse cultures, particularly in things like music and dance, where we can investigate and research and learn about African dance or Spanish dancing or very different types of things, but they all enhance what we can invest in children, and it really does give them that outlet and that step up. And one never knows, you might be sitting with the next poet in your classroom or the next musician, famous musician. So we don't really know the talent that lies within the classroom sometimes. And the arts gives us a perfect vehicle within the curriculum and beyond the curriculum to help children discover all of those things, discover their interests, discover their passions, and just building the socio-economic platform and foundation of our country, because we know that education is the foundation, and if we don't get that right, it will lead into our children growing into adults who are not invested in our country, who aren't active citizens, and so the arts is definitely a vehicle for that.
I'm actually glad you mentioned that. I mean, having said that, Belinda, is your curriculum at the Rustenburg Girls' School geared or tailor-made to sort of equip, the learners to take up arts as a source of livelihood, not just as a hobby?
Absolutely. We do follow the national CAPS curriculum, but we do infuse a lot of the arts into what we do and expose our girls at Rustenburg to a lot of the arts forms, drama, music, dance, as well as visual art. And also exposing them to not just what we do within school, but also outside of school as well, exhibitions and involvement in competitions and aesthetics and things like that, because it's only once children see what they are capable of doing beyond with what's in the classroom, that's when they actually realize the talent that they have. And so definitely at Rustenburg, we do invest in that. But we also acknowledge that we are very privileged here at Rustenburg. We do have lots of specialist teachers in all the art forms, where many of our South African schools don't have that. And so we are very privileged to be able to do that. And the reason why we have this conference is to be able to invest in other schools and in teachers particularly, to upskill them and give them the tools that they need to be able to do what we do at Rustenburg. So yes, it is definitely vitally important for us here, because we know that academics is only one part of the curriculum. Languages and maths and science is only one part of it, or parts of it. The arts is vital as well. And so we do invest in that here at Rustenburg Girls Junior.
All right. Let's now talk about the second annual Virtual Creative Arts Conference that you're hosting next month for all South African teachers.
Yes, we're very excited that this is the second time that we're able to host this virtual conference. I think when we did it last year, it was kind of just flying by the seat of our pants, really, and just not knowing what to expect. Initially, when we decided to go ahead with this conference, which is actually the brainchild of our Head of Creative Arts here at Rustenburg, Mr. Hendrik Marie, it was his idea and his passion in putting it together. We really didn't realize the impact that this conference would have on reaching teachers. I think the important thing to acknowledge in our country is that many of our teachers are expected to teach the arts that have no experience, no theoretical knowledge, very little, even in their training, as in their pre-service training, when they might have studied their degrees, they may not have studied the arts, one of the art forms, but yet they're expected to teach it. And so that's why the conference is so integral for us as a school, but also for us as a country in investing in education, because there are too many teachers who are needing to teach the arts, but are not equipped to do so. And so that's why we have this annual virtual conference now. So we're running it for the second time on the 9th and 10th of September. And it's particularly to reach the schools where they don't have the specialist teachers like we do. They don't have a specialist art teacher. And so it's to help those teachers, wherever they are, in whichever schools they are, to be able to teach the arts and inspire our children with the arts. And so our hope is through this conference is to inspire the teachers so that they can inspire our children.
Sure. And for teachers and schools alike interested in attending and being a part of this conference, how do they go about doing that?
Well, we do have a conference website, which I'm sure you can just Google, but it's Schoolscape and /creative arts, I think. But yeah, you can just find us on the website. All the conference details are there. We've got some amazing speakers, not just local speakers, but international speakers as well from places like Finland, Scotland, and England. And so we're really excited about that. So they can just log on to the conference website. They can book a ticket via the website, and we're really excited that we've had so much sponsorship. We've got about 1,000 tickets to give away to teachers. Normally the conference ticket would be 150 Rand to cover the costs of running the virtual conference, but we're excited that we've got about 1,000 tickets that we can give to teachers who can attend the conference for 2 days for nothing. And so, yeah, we're very, very grateful for that, and very excited about the potential that this conference can bring to our country. So they can just log on to the website and book their tickets there.
Okay. Lovely chatting to you, Belinda. Thank you so much for joining us.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
That was Rustenburg Girls Junior School's principal, Belinda Peterson, and we've been talking to her about the importance of arts education in a child's development.